How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews. Back at another review. A little bit of can time. But guess what? There's no hops in here. Well, there's hops in it because it's beer and shit. But this is a stout. I love me some stout in some cans. And this, it comes courtesy of Ryan. Thank you very much, buddy. He lives down Virginia Way. And he sent me off a couple beer mails over the past several months, and the last two have been a lot of hops, and this one was kind of cool because it's come from a brewery that last one he sent, I think it was 4 or 5 cans he sent me. It was all hops stuff from this brewery, so to actually try something that is non-hop forward, I shouldn't even say that because it's basically it's a chocolate hazelnut Imperial milk stout, but it can still be hop forward, but something dark and rich and all that stuff. Try something like that from a brewery you haven't had before. Super fucking cool, and it is, might as well say the name by now, Commonwealth Brewing's Chinchilla. Like I said, it is a chocolate hazelnut Imperial milk stout, ringing in at 9.8% alcohol by volume, and that's actually it as far as what it says on the can. It's kind of like this kind of wrapped silver can with this kind of generic kind of background to it. Different than the last time I got cans. I guess they might change up their kind of abstract pattern for each one, and they stick their own little sticker on there. It's got a little furry. Everybody's had that blanket. You bought that blanket at your local store that's really like super fluffy and super comfy. And you're like, oh my god, I love this blanket so much. And you wash it once, you go, I hate this fucking blanket. It sucks. It's like the blanket only is okay until you can wash it once. Does that make any sense? I think people will understand that. Anyway, we're going to drink it. So, Imperial Stout. Imperial Hazelnut, right? Chocolate Hazelnut Milk Stout. What do we got here? So, I love hazelnut in beers. They just do it for me. I love the marriage of that with chocolate. But sometimes it can be a little bit, I don't know, under showy. It might not show. It might show too much. The chocolate thing is kind of easy. You can use chocolate malt, whatever. So I'm really looking for the hazelnut to start the show here. The lactose in there, you might get a little bit kind of Nutella vibes off it. We'll see what happens. Not much of a head to speak of. It didn't have a big hiss coming off of it. Poured it relatively rigorously, but you're talking about Imperial Stout, so, not a big deal. And she be dark. I mean, that is what darkness is made of. So that means inside there's creepy clowns and sad things, because that's what darkness is made of. Anyway, all jokes aside, it looks like an Imperial Stout. Give it a little swirl, try not to fucking spill it. See if we can get a nose on her. Man, there's chocolate in those hills, and there's hazelnut in those hills. It's very Nutella. Straight up Nutella in the nose. I am getting like that subtly kind of marshmallow vanilla vibe, so the lactose is showing too. Not much, if any, kind of bittering in it whatsoever. That might change it in the mouth. That might be a good thing, too, because I want a little bit of balance to it. But as it sits right now, it smells sweet, nutty, slightly kind of vanilla and creamy. Not much bittering. Might be a little bit thin, though. Might be a little bit thin. So, but she smells quite nice. I mean, they're talking about a chocolate hazelnut Imperial milk stout. I am smelling chocolate hazelnut and lactose. So, on a nose. Let's see what she tastes like. Cheers. That's tasty. That's really tasty, actually. Carbonation. Slightly low. There's a subtle, super subtle carbonation to it. If you brought that carbonation up just a little bit, I think it would be an infinitely more impactful beer. But all that aside, that's the biggest gripe I'm probably going to have about this beer going forward. It's big enough to where it's kind of that apparent to where I brought it up at the get. But at the same time, tasty stuff. The mouthfeel's not that bad considering. But the chocolate and the hazelnut come off very kind of liqueur. It almost tastes like a Frangelica Kahlua kind of milk stout kind of thing going on. It's not so much that chocolate and the hazelnut is kind of powdery sometimes, and that's a good thing. I actually like that kind of powdery vibe I get off of those two flavors sometimes in a lot of Imperial Stouts. This is coming off more liqueur vibe, where it's like not extracty, but a bit more kind of liquid version in a good way. The booziness kind of helps that. You know, it's a bigger beer, being it's 9 change. The lactose is there to give you a kind of subtle confectionery sweetness to it. It's not like super milky, super creamy, like just yelling at you with all this kind of like milk craziness, but it adds this extra level of sweetness that I think keeps some of the bittering from the roasted malts in check. I don't think it's necessarily needed in that aspect. I think it's needed in taste-wise, but it's not a bitter beer to begin with, so I'm not sure you would get a ton of that anyway. But yeah, it's tasty. I'm taking big gulps, so you know it's tasty. Yeah. Minus a bomb of carbonation. It's probably one of the better Imperial milk stouts I've had in a while. And like I said, there was this kind of like in the nose of Nutella kind of vibe, but then that liqueur thing I keep kind of banging back to in my brain. So I'm getting this kind of, it's not an alcohol burn, but it's this alcohol kind of flavor, kind of like when you get that kind of cherry from a bourbon barrel-aged beer, but not the heat portion. I'm getting that kind of vibe from the hazelnut and the chocolate. It just keeps making me think liqueur. Listen, you know, it's getting the colder months here, so my beautiful future wife, she doesn't really even drink beer all that much. If she has anything, it's gin and tonics, which are fantastic, by the way. I've learned that. That's one thing she's taught me. Among a couple other things. We're not going to talk about those on camera, though. But the other thing is, in getting into the colder months, she kind of wants like a Kahlua and cream. Although she, you know, doesn't drink milk, so it's like almond milk. And even though I haven't had one of those yet, and I haven't had a Kahlua and cream in years, it's kind of giving me those vibes. But if you throw a dash of Frangelica in there, if you add that dash of Frangelica in there, it gives you that added little kind of oomph, that little bit of kind of chutzpah to make it be something outside of just chocolate and cream. And that's what I'm kind of getting in here. And it's pretty fucking fun. Tasty, fun, delicious. The nutty vibe, combined with that liqueur vibe. Lactose to room. If I can kind of wrap it all together, just kind of miss a little bit of carbonation. But, again, kind of nitpicking there because it's still fucking delicious. So let's talk about it. Was it one of the better non-barrel aged Imperial Stouts I've had as of late? Definitely in the conversation. Not sure it's up there with the best, but it's definitely in the conversation. Might be up there. Honestly, I'm trying to rack my brain to see which ones that really have impacted me in a positive way as much. It's just with the carbonation being a little bit smaller than I'd like it to be, it's hard for me to kind of scream from the rooftops about it. Value availability, no idea. I'm sure Ryan can clue us into that one. I'm sure it's brewery only, and it's like, give or take, Imperial Stout with all that stuff, probably $18-20, I'm guessing. And leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like Imperial Stouts, if you like Imperial Stouts in cans, which kind of tickle me pink, I just like that shit. Even though you see it nowadays a lot more often, it's just still just a weird notion sometimes in my brain. And if you like what I said about, you know, the Frangelica kind of Kahlua thing going on, it's giving me that kind of vibe. Give the combination of lactose with those two flavors, it's just giving me that kind of cream, white Russian, black Russian kind of thing going on, but with that, you know, beer format as opposed to like a liquor format. Just kind of, it's kind of cool. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, anywhere in between, down there, Words and Stuff and Things. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tap. Massive Beers, all four of those places. And yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice beer liquor thing right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.